I don't give a fuck. I'm sick of niggas' opinions. Sick of people weak ass opinions that's not validated. I don't give a fuck how long you listen to hip hop. I don't give a fuck how many vinyls you bought. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Unless they mine.
Welcome back to the Etceteras. As always, I'm your host, Eddie Gonzalez, and today we're joined by a special guest. I'm gonna say one of the best rappers in the world. I think widely recognized as that.
I would say that too. The Butcher coming.
Benny the Butcher.
Yeah.
A new album on the way. Everybody Can't Go. January 26th.
January 26th. Everybody Can't Go.
I've heard it. It's great.
Yeah.
Let's just get right into it because I think you're one of these artists that people are attached to a certain version of you that they were introduced to.
Yeah.
You have obviously since grown. It's been many years.
Mm-hmm.
I think this album is a great blend of what we've come to love, old Benny, as they would say, and then the new elevated version of you. Was that the approach? Like, there's a lot of bases covered on this album. We'll talk about it. Was that the approach going into this?
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my natural evolution as an artist. You know what I'm saying? You can't name me one artist who sound the same after 7 years of putting music out on a national level. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is, but it's still me. I'm saying that my brain is still the same, my pen is still the same, my outlook on the game is still the same. I'm still like bending my words, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just my natural evolution as an artist.
So one of the things I love and appreciate, so thank you for doing this. You got my favorite rapper at the moment, Babyface Ray, on there.
Yeah.
You also have Peasy. Is it like that's a scene you're tapped into? Like you're just messing with the Detroit sound? How did those two come about specifically?
Definitely it's a scene I'm tapped into, and it's definitely some correlation between, you know, Buffalo and Detroit. You know what I'm saying? It's Buffalo's closer to Detroit than it is to the boroughs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Buffalo's got a little Midwest in them. You know what I mean? Not trying to claim nothing on their sound. I'm just showing that there is correlation between Buffalo and Detroit. You know what I mean? A lot of Detroit dudes used to come to Buffalo back in the day and hustle. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like I mentioned that on Tana Talk 3 about how my mom had a boyfriend from Detroit, like trapping out our crib back in the day. So you know, and the fans really put me onto it. The fans were really like, yo, you and him will sound crazy. And then I tapped in to Face, and shit, the rest is history.
Face, one of those guys, met him at a Nets game. We talked to K, and he's exactly what he sounded like on the record. Like that dude like walked in the room, he was the same dude.
Right.
And it was like, he's just super chill. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but the other person on that saw it too. You a sick dude for deciding we're gonna put them in the room. We're gonna get that, and it worked. Right. It was crazy.
No, for real, man. I wanted to blend everything in. I wanted to make sure I got some current people, you know what I mean, and some old school people. That was important to me. So hell yeah.
So this is the first album on Def Jam. This is a debut of sorts, major label debut. Did that change your approach in the album making? I mean, I think a lot of artists we deal with when mixtapes were more prevalent, but they were making mixtapes were like albums, so they're different mindsets. Did you approach this in like, yo, this is a bigger album, this is a major label album? Like, what was the idea there?
Well, I always already know my next project is always gonna be bigger than my last project, so I keep that in mind. You know what I mean? And you know, the process was really the same because I'm working with Derringer and Alchemist. It's almost repetitive. I get in the studio with these boys all the time, so I know my direction. I know what Hit Boy gonna bring. I know what Al gonna bring. But the way the music came out is, like I said, it's just my natural evolution of an artist. I was surprised at some things, the way things came out, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, that's dope. I'm surprised at how I sound and continue to grow. That's what I was looking for. I wanted to show growth. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I wanted to show growth to these people, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of time these dudes, these fucking critics, they get on my nerves. They be talking about some, he sound the same every shit. But they don't pay attention when I switch the flow up on songs like Big Dog, and I'm switching the flow up on a whole bunch of songs on this album. Like, they don't pay attention to that, you know what I'm saying? They want to pay attention to the negative shit, but I'm definitely switching the flow up, just having fun on this shit.
Nah, I agree. And, you know, there's a song called Bron. Definitely switched the flow up on there. Even the rhyme pattern of just getting back to that rhyme each time. The song with Peasy that I mentioned, definitely switched the flow up there. Sure. Another one with Snoop, different flow on that. You're doing a video for that, sound like coming up soon. There's a lot of variety here. So if you come out of this project saying it's the same Benny, you skim through it. You
skim through that motherfucker. Or either that or you don't want to realize the truth. Because you got a lot of people who don't want to realize the truth, that I'm the top in the game. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I mean? That I've been here like giving ass whoopings. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't want to realize that, and it's all good, but you ain't gonna turn a blind eye to this hard work. You ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Your opinion is your opinion, but we ain't gonna act like I'm slacking.
So I want to talk about that a little bit because being on the top and people can scoff at that all they want or feel like you're blowing, you're talking shit,
Right.
but you're synonymous with rapping good. Like when people talk about
it.
bars and
That's
having good, it's like like Griselda and like Benny.
Right. Rapping good.
Drake did that shit.
Bringing the feeling back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like culture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bringing a whole genre back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, people can't ignore that when it's convenient for them. It's just facts.
And I think the result of that too is when people come to rap at you, they come to rap. Like
That's it. That's it.
Do you take pride in that? Is there pressure in that when Wayne gives that fucking verse he gives you, and it's like, okay, I gotta be on Cole. That was his own moment. Like, do you take pride in that? Is there pressure in that? Like, what does that feel like sitting in that seat?
That's almost the most honorable thing a rapper could do for another rapper is give you a fire verse. Is give you a fire one of them crazy verses. That's one of the most honorable thing they could do for you, because what that shows is that this was the arena for it. We watch these guys get on songs and they go crazy. They legends. But, they don't go as hard as, you know what I'm saying? Even I do it, you know what I'm saying? I know the arena. If this person's sending me a record or if that person's sending me a record, I know the difference. I could read the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's to show that these guys could read the room and know what kind of record this is. You know what I'm saying? That's the most honorable thing they could do, and let me know, like, what space I occupy in this game.
So this is one of the things I talk about with my friends, and me and Kevin talk about this. There's a competitive spirit to that. There's a competitive spirit to Cole going, I want to bring the bars back. I got to get on a Benny joint. Not Benny on my album. We're going to make a
100%.
I'm going to go over them a rap on one of Benny's joints. Do you feel like that's missing kind of like in a broader scope right now? Like, I feel like the younger generation, I don't want to sound like my uncle on my rocking chair, but I definitely feel like that's not as prevalent anymore. We're trying to make good songs, which is fine, and I understand. But it's not like we showing up to the studio, I'm going to smoke this shit.
Because it's only a handful of us. It's only a handful of us, and a lot of times, the fans is thirsty for blood, so it's going to be taken the wrong way. A lot of times it'll start off competitive, but it can't stay competitive because the fans feed into the bullshit. But it's only a few of us. It's only a handful of us. You can't have the few guys. You can't have the few guys who do occupy that space like going at each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it got to be some camaraderie there to bring it back to a powerful point. But I say that to say, like, a lot of the top guys who in the shit, they not lyricists. They singers. No real shit.
Nah, for real.
So you like think about it. The other guys who doing numbers besides the big headed three, but it's other people doing number. They not rappers.
It's I seen my comrade David Dennis. He had Guru on his show called Rap Stories, and he asked Guru about success. They were talking about American Gangster.
Yeah.
And Guru was like, they weren't trying to cut each other's head off, but it was respect. Like, Nas knew he had to come with it, and Jay knew he had to come with it. It's not beef to go, yo, you get on a song with Cole, you trying to get at it. I think we just saw that with Drake and Cole as well. What is it like when you see them two do that? Because it's like, there's clearly a healthy respect there. They spun the block at the first person shooter, said, yo, we're going to do this other joint.
We got to recreate that.
We're literally going the same rhyme pattern with each other for 4 minutes. When you see that, what is that like for you from where you see? Because like you said, you kind of reintroduced this energy back into what we do.
Yeah, when I see that, man, I love it. I'm a fan, so only thing, I wish the same thing everybody else do, like that we ain't have to wait so long for that. and we get some more shit like that again, and they do it again. When I say them, I mean guys like us who occupy that space, known as a spitter, get on with the top spitters, because that's what people want to see. They want to see the other shit as well, but man, they want to see the spitters get on and spit together. That's more than what I want to hear. Like, I don't want to hear I mean, shout out to the queens, you know what I'm saying, like, Nicki and Cardi, but I don't want to see them shooting at each other. I want to see them on a song going. That's what I want to see. I want to see them eating together. I'm saying is back, you know what I mean, like Guwap and Jeezy, you know what I'm saying, they went at each other like we wanted to continue to hear records. We got one record,
Right,
and it was
crazy.
a smash hit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the people want. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the voice is louder of the people who got the appetite for the bullshit. They voice is louder, but man, I want to see these guys work together. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime two greats come in the same room, whether if it's Hove and M, or whether if, you know what I'm saying, you know, when the greats get on the mic with each other, you know what I mean? You know what it is.
Yeah, and it's like you said, shout out to Cardi and Nicki, but like that's why I want to see them rap.
Right.
They may never squash whatever it is that's going on.
Yeah, I get it. I
but
understand.
like, and it's fine, whatever it is, that's their business. I did want to see them go on a record and see.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Imagine instead of Super Ugly and Ether, like we got that record.
right.
Come on now.
Right.
Come on now. What would that would have done for hip hop?
Yeah, and it's like so it's cool to see Drake and Cole do that where they at, because they don't have to do that. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? They could have been in their own spaces and been cool. They're obviously cool. They could have did a tour, and they didn't need to give us just straight bars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I'm a Drake fan. This show is like, we joke about it all the time, but the fact that he's getting on conductor beats is like,
Oh, that's fire.
like what? So this is again from your lineage, and we know that when you see that, when you hear, when you get the call, it's like, yo, Drake tapped in, and it's the first joint he drops from the album too.
Right.
What does that look like from your vantage point?
You know what it looks like to everybody else is that, you know what I'm saying, is that we an undeniable force in hip hop, and just like we learn from other people take and learn from us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The greats. Not just all of these other who've been copying, because there's been a lot. There's been a lot, you know what I'm saying? But you know, we inspire people the way they inspired us. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I said, that says a lot. You know what I mean? And we gonna continue to put out music like that. We gonna continue to be Buffalo niggas that show in hip hop we belong, and we set trends, and I'm saying, and we say what's hot. You know what I'm saying? Like we the fucking kings of this genre, this underground shit, this boom bap shit. You know what I'm saying? We brought this shit so far. You know what I'm saying? And that's us.
In the opening track of the album, you do address the idea that there's any kind of split there with the triangle, you call it on the album. It's I don't know where this comes from. You've addressed it many times. You guys all have your own things going on outside of that as well. Like, wasn't that always the plan? Like, to build up the empire and then build more empires? Wasn't that always the point?
Yeah, 100%. I think people maybe, of course that's for a fact, but I think, you know, people maybe got that idea from maybe some little things Conway probably said in an interview, but you know, that's Conway, and what they don't realize is, you know what I'm saying, we know him and that's him. These niggas is brothers. You know what I'm saying? These niggas is brothers, and them boys ain't gonna never stop working. What they created, you know what I'm saying, what they brought together and the thing that they started gonna live on forever. And man, we ain't gonna never stop being Griselda. Even if I'm signed to Def Jam, if I'm signed to Death Row, if I'm signed to Slip and Slide, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're Griselda. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just it. You know what I mean?
I also think, and this might be like a late 30s thing or whatever, just grown thing, but you know how it is. Even our closest friends, like, you got a family, they got families. We live in different cities. Like, we still got the group chat. We talking shit. We still laughing about the game. Like, we still exist in these
just
spaces.
like you said, the best case scenario happened. I got my own label. Conway got his own label. We each doing solo projects to come back and come to the table for a collective project. You know what I'm saying? That was the game plan. The game plan wasn't for me to be in a position where I gotta, you know, ride these boys' coattails, or to be in a position where Conway gotta wait till West make his moves. Nah, that wasn't the game plan. The game plan is we jump in and shit, and we prove our point, and each of us come out as their own boss, because that's what we started as. That's it.
So I want to talk about Def Jam, because I kind of wonder why. Like, and not in a bad way, just curiosity, because you guys were independent for so long.
For sure.
The Shady deal is much publicized, and everybody thinks what they think about how that went or didn't go or whatever. So for you to jump on a major, I know you mentioned on Instagram, yo, they're rebuilding. I want to be part of a rebuilding process.
Yeah.
What was it about now in your career to say, I want this machine, I want the resources that come with that, whatever it is? What was it about now?
Well, to be literal about it, you know what I'm saying? It's about one something. And I've been on 4 interviews already today. You know what I'm saying? The press runs are immaculate. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit up here and lie.
Yeah.
I don't put albums out, and the press runs wasn't like this. Shout out to everybody who I work with, but they just wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here. I'm in Benny the Butcher's shoes. This is me standing here in these Rookie of the Year Jordan 1s. You know what I'm saying? So I know what's going on, and it's a bigger play.
Yeah.
And that's just it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not for another artist, but for underground artists like me, I feel like to make my voice louder as I want it, so I could buy more life in the game. That's what it's about. Is to come here and get and shine a light on this shit more, and put the microscope on this shit more, so we can buy more life in the game. And that's all it's about. So we doing bigger interviews. We doing more interviews. You know what I'm saying? We're in bigger rooms. Maybe these was in these rooms before they was independent. Me, I wasn't. I was in a lot of rooms, but just opened a few more doors up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's it.
I think hip hop is so built on the hustler's mentality and do it yourself energy, and I feel like the major label became kind of taboo.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that the help that can give you, it could benefit a ton of artists. A ton of artists that are like, I will never. It could benefit a ton.
I don't listen. Like I was talking about this last time, man. You notice the guys who always say they not signing a lot of the guys who don't know who say they not signing deals, they already raped the labels for the deals. Now they out of the deal saying they ain't never sign again. I understand that, and that's their path, but this is mine. And it's like, I just felt like I needed to make my voice louder. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like I needed that for my city, for the homies, for everybody under me, the Black Soprano family. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's been dope so far. You know what I'm saying? I love it. You know what I mean?
I think the fear is, I guess, label interference or whatever. When I hear the album, it doesn't sound like an album that a label has dug their fingers through. Yeah, What's that experience been with Def Jam?
Nobody from Def Jam ever told me to, like, yo, you should do a song like this. Not saying that they would be wrong to,
right? Because
kind of like that's what they're there for. But the point I'm making is, they didn't come from get me off a street corner. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Rapping over a garbage can with the fire coming out the bitch. Yeah. They ain't come and get me from that. You know what I'm saying? They came and got me from a big house in Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With a garage full of foreigns. You know what I'm saying? They understand, okay, what these guys built and what these guys doing has been working. So what can we do to add to that? It's been about that. Nobody told me what I should do or what I need to do. It's more about supplying the resources for me. You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I mean? Like, and seeing what they can add on to my game plan that I got already. That's what it's about. It's not about, okay, we about to sign Benny and change it around. And if anybody think that, like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be real with yourself. They ain't come and get me for that. Like, Griselda is known for being independent and for building their own foundation. And we just making it stronger. This is just making the foundation stronger, you know what I'm saying? So it can last longer.
So the album, it sounds like some of these songs have been done for some time. Like, when was this finished and what was the delay? This was supposed to be, I don't know if there was a hard date, but there was different times where it's like, yo, it's on the way, it's on the way. To
be honest with you, I had leaked the date out in August. And that's because I heard nobody even told me that. I just heard them talking about it and I just said that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really learning how this shit go and seeing that everything that we done to now to get it out, ain't no way that shit was coming out August. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's a process. It's a process. And it has to be done a certain way. Like, if I was independent still, it would have came out August.
Yeah.
But certain things had to be refined. Cross our T's, dot our I's. Clear some samples. You know what I'm saying?
Some business, yeah.
Them things have to take place to make the moment as big as I need it to be.
Yeah.
Because I didn't come this far to sign with a label to throw this shit off the roof just to say I dropped it. I didn't do that. I'm saying we got to go to every corner and every crevice to know that everybody can't go. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I haven't put out an album in 2 years. And every time I drop, you know what I mean? I heat the fucking streets up. You know what I'm saying? My shit is always the most anticipated around the time when it drops. So I had to paint that picture. I had to give these people like one of them 90s rollouts. Yeah. They ain't got one of those in a minute, and that's what I'm doing.
Well, that was another question I was going to ask, because last year, 2023, is the first time in like almost a decade where you didn't release an official album in a year. You were busy. You were present. Were you antsy dealing with that? Were you like were you indie Benny the Butcher sitting there like, dog, we gotta do a quick little EP or something? Like, you was ready?
I was ready, but I never rushed the process because I bought in before I signed the contract. Yeah. I knew what it was going to take. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Nas and everybody at Rock Nation, Mike, just everybody over there. I trusted them. I trusted Def Jam. So it was like I let them do their stuff. A couple times, you know, I tapped in like, what's going on, baby? You know what I mean? What we doing? But I trusted them, you know what I'm saying? That's what this relationship is about. It's a working relationship, and it's not one-sided. I'm open to ideas, and I'm open to everything, man. That's how I work. So, you know what I mean? I did get antsy, though. I did. Real shit.
I hate to ask this as we're literally on the eve of a big album on the way. What is after this, though? People are waiting for a Griselda album. People are waiting for Black Soprano Family, something or other. Like, are those things in the works? Are you already looking at the next situation, or
both of those are next. Black Soprano Family album, What Was She Gonna Do Too, Griselda album, another Benny the Butcher album. And like I said, I stayed away for 2 years. Now I gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's over for that. Now I gotta deal with me. I ain't going nowhere now. I'm here now, you know what I'm saying? So everything.
We were talking before the show. Twitter, you've become a villain of sorts.
I'm the bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
They'll run it off with your quotes and all that. And like, first off, I'm gonna just say here on camera, what you said about the DMX album, you should have that confidence.
Yeah,
I don't know why you shouldn't have that. It's respect to DMX. It's respect to the label.
Real shit.
I understand that, like, that includes all of Rockefeller and other them and all that shit. Kanye, technically, like, but you should have that energy. Mm-hmm. You should be that excited about your album. So I just want to say that now that you're sitting here. But what happened on Twitter? Like, when did this leaf turn to where you became this dude? Like,
I think when I think I didn't go with like the boom bap kids agenda. I think I didn't go through it with their agenda, and they realized that I wasn't going with their agenda. I was doing trap beats. You know, I signed to the major. You know what I'm saying? You know, I had a little run in. You know what I'm saying, with one of their heroes. You feel what I'm saying? Which villainized me. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck. I swear I don't. Because a lot of times their opinion don't matter. They just want to get on. They just want to get on the internet and say dumb shit. And this is the closest that they gonna get to this shit. You know what I'm saying? And if I gotta be the villain for them, man, I'm the motherfucking villain. Who you want me to be? You know what I'm saying? Who you want me to be? I be the villain. I put the mask on. I do it for you. You know what I mean? And you know, like I said, I don't give a fuck. I'm sick of niggas' opinions. Sick of people weak ass opinions. That's not validated. I don't give a fuck how long you listen to hip hop. I don't give a fuck how many vinyls you bought. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Unless they mine. You feel what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Just because you're a participator, that don't give you room to speak how a lot of these people speak on the culture. How a lot of these people spew their opinion around. That don't. You know what I mean? Have your opinion validated. That's it. That's all I ask. It is what it is.
As a fellow Twitter villain, I share your frustration with the app as a whole. I think you had a kind of series of tweets. I think there were videos you recorded, but the essence of it was that there's way too many critics now. Like we're Twitter and I think social media in general, it makes us hypercritical of everything. That's a good word, because people aim to critique before they go try to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? They're listening to critique. Mm-hmm. They're not listening to like, okay, let me sit back. They trying to find something wrong instead of trying to find something right. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that gets on my fucking nerves, because they weaponize their opinion. And it could become two-sided. Mm-hmm. That's why when these same Twitter nerds is on your dick telling you the best person ever, that's just spite another artist. You feel what I'm saying? Get too big for them and they gonna hate you for that. So don't never believe these people when they on a you know, people get on there and say, well, this artist is better, this artist is that. You haven't bought nothing from this artist. You never been to a show. You never bought a piece of merch. You don't own none of their music. You just spewing their opinion. So, you know what I mean? And I try not to focus on that, but I like to call these motherfuckers out. I like to. We had Cole on this show before his last album. He said something that was really, I thought, brilliant. But when you're coming up, you only interact with people who they love you. Mm-hmm. They're only there because they love you.
Right.
And now with social media, now you can meet all the haters too. Like,
exactly.
This is the only time ever in the history of mankind where an artist, an athlete, what have you, can put work out
Yeah.
and instantly hear the good and the bad
Exactly.
from anybody.
And these people are
numerous people.
And
too.
these people are like they puppets because they easily triggered. Like when you got these blogs that's posting this shit, they only posting that shit for reaction. You know what I'm saying? I said a whole lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? They put my picture next to the quote. Like it's a whole bunch of shit y'all could have gave me the picture quote shit. You know what I'm saying? I know that's not the first thing, but they chose that because they know they dealing with some immature nerds who gonna eat that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, and that's the world of the internet too. Is like the negativity travels so much faster and further than if you got on the show and say, "Yo, The Blueprint's the best album I ever heard." It probably wouldn't move no needles.
Right.
And The Blueprint's incredible, and it very may well be. But if you got on this show and said, "Well, Illmatic is overrated," then we would do Cat Williams views.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. You know, that's what I was just talking about that in the last interview. How they say, you know, the labels perpetuate the bullshit by putting the music out there, the drill music and the killing and the drug dealing. Man, that's what people like. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust me, if motherfucking the Teletubby music soundtrack was the number one type of fucking genre of music, that's what people would be doing. But that's not what people feed into. People feed into the bullshit. So long as people interested in the bullshit, that's what they're going to get fed. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame the labels for that. You can't blame the execs for that. You really can't even blame the artists for that because they're trying to feed y'all what y'all want. You know what I'm saying? When y'all interests change, that's when y'all don't see the things change around y'all. But shit, you know what I mean?
what are you listening to outside of you guys? Are you having a chance to?
Old music, man. A lot of old music, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not interested in a lot of shit that dropped. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of old music. A lot of old Hove, old Jeezy, old Nas, old Rick Ross, old Meek. I've been listening to a lot of old music, man. I gotta go back. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I'm really not interested in nothing that's been out lately.
I seen you working with Neek Bucks.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's my boy, man.
I want to shout him out because he's fire. He's one of the ones that I think.
And he been on a constant grind. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like about him. He's on a constant grind. He's not around asking for handouts. He grinding. He realized the opportunity that he got and he chewing. I love that.
Yeah, he's fire. He's one of the new. I'm always curious with somebody like you because, in a way, you do represent a certain era, and it's like you're in an era that isn't always gravitating towards that. So it's like, yeah, what are you listening to? What is your day to day like? Like, are you as busy as it seems? Are you able to sit down and relax at times? I know you're saying you live in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm definitely as busy as it seems. When your life make these type of turns, you gotta carve out the time for yourself. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna be in the house, I'm gonna be in the house. If I'm gonna walk my dogs that day, if I'm gonna chill with the family that day, do movies or you know what I'm saying, do dinner or some shit, I gotta carve that out. You know what I'm saying? And you know that gets hectic. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, wife and kids want to hear that they gotta be carved out, but you know that's what it is though. You know what I'm saying? This is where the money come from. This shit done grew legs of its own. But yeah, but when the faucet on, I'm busy. If I answer that phone all day, it's always some shit to do. It's just when we decide to do it, it's always some shit to do. You know what I mean?
Well, last thing I want to ask, and I'm very curious about this, because you've rapped with almost everybody. I know we have the mythical Drake collab. I don't know if there's ever gonna. That's essentially out. Like you've answered this question 100 times, but for all intents and purposes, that song is out.
Find it somewhere, right?
Yeah, Buffalo Freestyle, did they call it? Who is left out there for you that you want to rap with?
Hove and Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? The greats, man. I want to work with all the greats. Andre 3 Stacks.
You might have to get on a flute with that one.
I will. I mean, he can make the beat off the flute. We can kill that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Add a few drums, though. But, man, you know, the greats, man. You know what I'm saying? The greats. I want to get on the track with the greats, man, and see what we come up with.
Well, look, man, I appreciate you doing this. We are fans here. You and Kay go back, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to sit here and talk with you. And I will say, like, the style of rapping you do is so refreshing. And it can be complicated, but I think you're one of those rappers who straight to the point, says exactly what you need to say. You don't waste a syllable. The album is on the way. Everybody Can't Go.
Everybody Can't Go. January 26th, The Butcher coming. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm putting belt to ass. Like my say in the rack, I'm putting belt to ass. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know whenever I pop up, it's showtime. I don't know why y'all act like y'all forgot. You know what? People, They act like they forgot because they don't want to face the truth. They know what time it is when I come through. They like, man, here go this big head, big nose again. He about to come rip this shit up all the fucking time, and they get quiet. You know what I'm saying? But the butcher coming.
Like I said, you're synonymous with rapping good, which I think is the greatest compliment you and the entire Griselda could have ever received.
Real shit.
Benny the Butcher, it was great having you, my guy.
Appreciate you, gang.
Thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir.